Hello, impact makers. Amelia Harshfield here. I help entrepreneurs who are making a difference become more resilient so they can make a bigger impact. This looks like teaching them how to have less stress, anxiety, so their road towards making an impact becomes easier and easier and easier, so they're able to get bigger and bigger and bigger along their journey, impact more people, and really become the person that they want to be. Because in my opinion, what's stopping them from doing what they feel like they were born to do is that there are certain emotional hangups. And as you clear these, you'll be able to move closer and closer and closer towards who you want to be, making the impact, really feeling and enjoying that road as well. So that can make things a lot easier. And often my clients are people who are caring, kind, considerate people. They're wanting to make a difference in the world in actually a good way, in a way that builds themselves and others up. And what can stop them from doing that is telling people what they want to hear instead of like what's right for them. And this can look like doing this with potential clients, potential investors, the big names in the industry, if you're ever around them. And usually when you do that, you feel bad after. You're like, oh no, that didn't feel very good. Or you might get frustrated with yourself. You're like, oh, I shouldn't have said that. Why did I say that? I'm always letting people run all over me, which can feel really debilitating. You might not feel like yourself when you're doing that. And, no one not feeling like yourself is really bad, because it's like, you're limiting your power, you're limiting what's right for you. You're not acknowledging certain parts of who you are when you do that. And usually you are telling people what they want to hear because of patterns that you've learned. So it's not like you're doing this intentionally. It's not like you're setting out to do this. People don't want to be sabotaging themselves. People don't want to be telling people what they want to hear and not like what's right for them, right? That's not fun. It's not good. So it's not like you're setting yourself up to do this. It's like, I'm just going to tell people what they want to hear, which can be good in certain terms. Like you need to have a bit of a sales approach, but when you're telling yourself what they want to hear at the expense of what's right for you, that is the space that I want to prevent people from, because it's like giving yourself little cuts every time you do that. It's like, it's not fun. As I've said, it's not right for you. And usually it's because of certain behaviors that you've learned how to do. So you might not be aware and fully see yourself setting yourself up for that. And you just might like see yourself doing it after, like, dang it, I did that in the moment. Or you might be seeing yourself actually doing that. So you might have really clear self-awareness with that. You see yourself doing that. You're like, oh my gosh, I just did that again. Oh my gosh, I just did that again. Oh my gosh, I just did that again. And just being really frustrated with yourself. And if you're getting frustrated with yourself and like cursing yourself, beating yourself up mentally about it, it's like, that's not helping it either. Yes, it's frustrating when you're doing this. Yes, it's frustrating when you see yourself doing it, but getting yourself into a fit about it isn't going to be helpful in the long run, because you're really just making it harder on yourself. Yes, it's frustrating that you're doing that. And sometimes that's just nice to acknowledge, like, yeah, this sucks that I'm doing this. This isn't fun that I'm doing this, right? Because it's not fun. It's not good to be doing this. People don't enjoy it. And sometimes just acknowledging that can make things a lot easier with yourself. So like validating, like, yeah, this sucks. It's not fun. I don't enjoy putting myself in these situations. That can at least make things easier, rather than like this inner battle that people can get into of like, I shouldn't be doing this. I don't want to be doing this, but yet you're still doing it. So that can help nudge the needle a little bit. So even saying that right now, like, if you see yourself doing that ever, or if you see yourself doing that in your day-to-day life right now, just saying like, yeah, it sucks when I do that and it's not fun. That can make things a lot easier, because you're actually acknowledging that it's not fun for you. And you're also saying like, this is what's real for me right now. It's not always how it's going to be going forward, but it's actually what's happening. And like a really good key to listening to yourself, to other people, is acknowledging and like validating what's going on for you. So validating what's going on for you. It sucks. It's not fun. I don't enjoy it. It doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel right for me. You can say any of that stuff to yourself, and that can just make it a little easier, a little less of that inner battle of like, I should be doing this and this, because we all know what that feels like, and that's not fun. So that's one thing that you can do when you see yourself telling people what they want to hear. The second thing is starting to look at the fear that you have that could be holding yourself back from actually expressing yourself. So usually when my clients, when myself and I are doing this, it's usually because there's a fear of like, I am afraid that I'll lose their business, or I'm afraid that they won't like me, or I'm afraid I'll get kicked out of this group, or I'm afraid that I'll be called a fraud, or I'm afraid that these people will think I'm an idiot or something like that. And usually there's some kind of fear that's blocking yourself from actually saying and sticking up for yourself, advocating for yourself. And the cool thing is as you work on this fear and get rid of this fear, sticking up for yourself directly and respectfully will be so much easier. You just might have to learn how to say things a little differently. So it's like things like this usually come in two parts. One, clearing, like looking at the fear, rewiring that with your inner children, seeing what's going on in their language, knowing what to say to them. And then, so addressing that fear with your inner children, or the part of you that's feeling that, and also teaching yourself the new skills, what to say. And as you do those two things, these things usually go away. So you won't have to keep struggling with like telling people what they want to hear for the rest of your life. You won't have to keep repeating this pattern of like validating yourself, acknowledging the fear, and then rewiring what you're saying. You're not going to have to keep doing this your entire life. But what is really cool is as you learn this, you'll feel better about yourself. You'll feel more proud of yourself. And then this will just become a daily thing that you'll get to practice, that you'll get to practice. And then eventually you'll get so good at this, it just sits in your subconscious. So it becomes automatic. And then you can wait for the next skill to upgrade. So what I teach people is not like managing behaviors for the rest of your life. I don't have time for that. You have stuff to do. You have the world to change. You don't have time for that either, in my opinion. So it's like, let's teach you how to constantly upgrade, and then you'll become more of the person you want to be. You'll feel so much better. You'll be making the impact easier. You'll be making better decisions. Even working on these simple things, not simple, but simpler things that I teach people, of like telling people what they want to hear. And I'm laughing because I've been there so many times that I know how shitty it feels. So I'm with you. I know it sucks. So yeah, just validate yourself, work on the fear, and then knowing what to say to people directly and respectfully. That can clear this up. So you can be advocating for yourself in a way that doesn't shoot yourself in the foot and attracts the right people as well. So, and if you want a little help with that, DM me and I will see if you're a right fit. We can dig a little deeper, and yeah, I will see you on the next video.